Good morning. Let us start today's lecture. Optical Fiber Communication DET 3202. Course outcomes. The students will be able to understand different communication media, various blocks and applications of the optical fiber communication system. The students will be able to understand the optics rules and measure the optical fiber cable parameters. Students will be able to identify suitable optical source for a given application. Students will be able to identify suitable optical detector for a given application. Students will be able to identify suitable connectors and measure the losses in the optical fiber cable. Students will be able to understand architecture of the optical network for a given application. So we are now dealing with the connectors and optical loss in the fiber in this chapter, unit 5. So optical connectors, basically two categories are there: fiber splices and demountable fiber connectors or connectors. So fiber connection has two categories. So fiber joining is as well as source detector coupling is employed with some techniques and some devices. So splices are semi-permanent or permanent joints in most of the optical fiber telecommunication system, which is analogous to soldering in electrical. Demountable fiber connectors or simple connectors are removable joints, which allows easy, fast, manual coupling, decoupling, uncoupling, analogous to plugs and sockets in electrical. So joints and couplers, fiber joints are useful ideally for to couple light propagating from one fiber to adjoining fiber, one fiber to next fiber. And couplers are branching devices that splits or combines all the light between the main fiber, two or more fibers in different ways. That is, two different ways are there. So one is couple a proportion of light propagating in the main fiber into branch, or the device are often bidirectional, then providing combining of the light from one or more fiber into main fiber. So combiners and splitters are there. Fiber splice, in which a permanent joint is formed between two individual optical fields and on field on optical fibers and on field on or in factory. So splicing is a frequently used to establish long haul optical fiber links where small fiber lengths need to be joined. Splicing is frequently used where there is no requirement of repeated connection disconnection. Permanent connector is there. Splices may be divided into two broad categories: fusion splicing, mechanical splicing. In fusion splicing, it is accomplished by applying localized heating, flame or electrical arc, and the two fibers are joined. In mechanical splicers, the fibers are held in alignment by some mechanical means, like use of tubes, which has tube splicer, and which use of grooves like V-grooves. So splicing technique seeks to optimize the performance with the help of fiber end preparation and alignment. So performance of splicing is achieved by first fiber end preparation, how better the end is prepared and how the fibers are aligned. So these two things will improve the performance in the splicing. So these two things are very important in the splicing. So optimize the performance is nothing but reduce the insertion loss of the joint. Joint is having insertion loss. We will have the formula of the insertion loss afterwards, and we will calculate the insertion loss also in the joints afterwards. So insertion losses of fiber splices are generally much less than Fresnel reflection losses. Fresnel reflection, we know, whenever the light enters from one medium to other medium, reflection takes place and loss takes place, that is Fresnel reflection. Then low loss is achieved in the splices because in fusion splice no large step change is there in the refractive index, and it is a continuous fiber connection, so that Fresnel reflection is completely avoided, almost avoided. In mechanical splices, the same Fresnel reflection can be reduced by splicing with index matching, that is some fluid is filled in between the fiber gap. Then difficulty is there in the splicing, as fiber splices are especially this is in the fusion splicing, as fiber splicing can be somewhat difficult process to perform in the field environment, but nowadays the handheld splicing machines are available and which are doing automated very good quality splicing, but this is olden book. So, and now also as compared to factory field splicing is difficult. So field operation problems have been overcome through development of field usable equipment, portable splicing machine. So it is a requirement of splicing that end faces must be smooth and square. What is the requirement? The end of the fiber is smooth and square, and as the fiber is made up of glass and crystalline material, while cutting the fiber end it will not be very smooth, it will be irregular, and that's why the end preparation becomes important, because the fiber end is somewhat always a crystalline and it is irregular while cutting. So in general the preparation is achieved using suitable tool which cleaves the fiber. The process is often referred to as scribe and break or score and break. So this scribing and breaking mechanism is shown, in which fiber are under tension, put on the curved main rail, and it is a very less degree angle provided to the fiber while giving the tension or maybe of 1 degree or less, and then the very sharp knife edge initiates the crack, and under tension that crack is propagated further and the fiber is cleaved, okay, or cut down, and that is the end preparation, fiber end preparation. So these knives are of sapphire, diamond, tungsten carbide blade, etc. Okay, so fibers are pulled and under tension they are the cut is initiated with the help of cutting tools, sapphire, diamond, tungsten carbide, etc. and then surface coring creates the failure in the fiber, and under tension it produces the reasonable square fiber. The fusion splicing of the single fiber involves the stripped, that is cabling and buffer coating. Both coating are removed. So cabling means there is a cable of fibers in which the supporting materials are there, the outer cabling coating, and there is a innermost axial and intermediate this steel strings are there, small strings are there. Okay, strings means wires, you can say, and in between those the optical fiber are placed. So these strings and the cable coating, they are providing the strength to this overall cable. Okay, so these are the optical cables, and around the optical cable also there is a protective material, so that those optical fibers due to the abrasion with these strings, stainless steel strings, should not get wear and tear. So it is called buffer coating. So buffer coating is there around the fiber, and around the overall cable there is cable coating is there. Both these coating are removed, and the fiber ends are adequately positioned and aligned to achieve the good continuity of the transmission medium. And at the junction point, and heating of the two prepared fiber ends to fusing point, then the apply sufficient axial pressure between the two optical fibers, and fibers are usually positioned with the help of clamps, and there is inspection microscope, because the fibers are of very small dimension in the micrometers, so microscope like magnifying device is required. Okay, then flame eating sources are there, maybe microplasma by argon hydrogen or auxiliary by oxygen hydrogen alcohol vapor, but most widely used is electric arc. So this is the setup to understand the fusion splicing. Okay, this is a setup just to understand. Nowadays this setup is not used. This is a very initial stage setup, but to understand how the process is there, it is very important. There is a fixed block, there is a movable block. Okay, fixed block is there, movable block. The block moves with these stop lever and push lever with having spring action, and there is a micrometer scale which we use for turning the positioning scale and pushing the lever to move the block in either forward direction or backward direction. And the fibers are placed in the V groove of these both the blocks, and then the fiber are very highly longitudinally aligned, laterally aligned, and angularly aligned. So there is no longitudinal, lateral or angular misalignment. And then whenever the already face end prepared fibers are put in very aligned manner, so end preparation and alignment is achieved. Both are important for the performance. And then the electrical electrodes are there, generate the arc, and pre-fusion is there, and then they are pressed against each other and fusion is there, and after fusion momentarily very controlled, very small time fusion is there, so that the fibers should not get destroyed because they are very small, that is the micrometer diameter. And then they are allowed to cool. These 4 steps are shown here. Initial setting is there, that is end phase preparation is there, and then the alignment is there, and then the arrangement of the smooth preface is there with the help of pre-fusion, applying a small heat less than the melting heat. Pre-fusion is there, that end faces becomes rounded, circular, and then they are pressed against each other, pressed together by moving them in this way. One is fixed, other is moved, and electrical arc is provided. Electrical arc is initiated given the current is started, and that fuses the fiber, and the fibers are get connected, and then the arc is removed, and then accomplish the splices after cooling. So this is the steps. So arc fusion process is there, which involves rounding of the fiber end at low energy discharge, called pre-fusion. Then the next step is pressing the fiber together, and then the pre-fusion avoids the requirement of fiber end preparation. That is the very distinct advantage. Then fusion splicing of the single mode fibers with a typical core diameter of 5 to 10 micrometer presents problem in critical fiber alignment. So this will start now. Okay. Fusion splicing of single mode fiber with a typical core diameter between 5 to 10 micrometer presents problems of critical fiber alignment. Okay, so in case of single mode fiber and multi-mode fiber, diameters are for single mode 5 to 10 micrometer, maximum 10 micrometer or 20 micrometer or 50 micrometer. 50 micrometer is very high diameter for the single mode. In multi-mode case, it is from 50 micrometer to 100, 150, 200 micrometer. So, fusion splicing of single mode fibers with a typical core diameter between 5 to 10 micrometer presents a problem of critical fiber alignment. So, it is difficult in case of single mode fiber as compared to multi-mode fibers, because as compared to single mode, multi-mode are quite large diameter fiber, that is 10 times 20 times large. Single mode fibers are 5, 10 like diameters, micrometer diameters, whereas the multi-mode is 50 micrometer, 100 micrometer, 70, 80 micrometer, 200 micrometer, 150 micrometer, very large diameter as compared to single mode. That is, the lateral offset is less than 1 micrometer are required for low joint losses. In as compared to 5 to 10 micrometer, lateral offset must be less than 1 micrometer to have very low loss joints. Joints should have very low loss. For that case, 1 micrometer is maintained. That is the meaning. Okay. So, splice insertion losses between 0.3 dB can be achieved due to the self alignment phenomena. Okay. So, I think I have disconnected, but I will continue the lecture so that recording will be available to you. Okay. However, the splice insertion loss below 0.3 dB can be achieved due to the self alignment phenomena, which partially compensates for any lateral offset. Then the fiber cladding and fiber core are shown. Here it is core, here it is cladding of this fiber. Similarly, here it is a core, here it is a cladding of this fiber. Now this figure helps us to understand fusion splicing has one very important physical property which helps automatically to align the fibers. The optical fiber fusion splicing is carried out, in which the automatically this splicing is achieved. Okay. Splicing is achieved automatically. How? The self-alignment phenomena which takes place during the fusion. With the help of self-alignment phenomena, automatic self-alignment is taken place. The self-alignment is taken place automatically. Okay. So, what is this phenomena? The figure is shown before fusion, during fusion and after fusion. So ABC figure is there. So this explains the self-alignment phenomena. Suppose before fusion there is a slightly misalignment. Okay. Core is not exactly placed in front of core and claddings are also not placed. Slightly lateral misalignment is there. Whenever there is a fusion of the fiber, fiber ends goes into molten state, there is a physical property called surface tension. Okay. That surface tension provides a drag or force as shown in the arrows. This is tension, this is force. Okay. The surface tension which keeps the water or any liquid bubble circularly. circular, isn't it? So surface tension also makes the alignment in the fiber by providing this type of the force surface tension. The surface tension moves the misalignment fibers in the position to exactly align them. So alignment is achieved with the surface tension, and automatically that misalignment is reduced and removed with the help of this physical property. This is physics property. Physics. It is the property, physical property of the material. Physics property. Surface tension. And then finally the splicing is achieved. Then optical fiber fusion splice is having the self alignment as it caused by the surface tension effect between the two fiber ends during the fusing. The main splice losses of only 0.06 dB have also been obtained with the fully automatic single mode fiber splicing machine. So 0.06 dB is quite small loss. A possible drawback with fusion splicing is that heat necessary to fuse the fiber may weaken the fiber in vicinity of the splice. So if you consider the drawback of fusion splices, okay. So what are the drawbacks of the fusion splicing? So fusion splicing process we have seen. It is very helpful in connecting one fiber to the other fiber. But there must be some drawbacks. What are those? The fusion splicing is that the heat necessary to fuse fibers weakens the fibers in vicinity of the splice. Vicinity means close to the splice. So near the joint, near the splicing, the fiber get weakened. Okay. The strength wise, the refractive index wise distortion will be disturbance will be there. And fiber fracture generally. The fiber fracture generally occurs in that heat affected zone in adjacent to the fused joint. Reduced tensile strength is attributed to combine the effect of reduced tensile strength is attributed to combine the effect of the surface damage caused by handling, the surface defect growth during the heating, and induce the residual stresses due to the changes in the chemical composition. So we have to reduce the tensile strength to achieve the effects of less surface damage due to handling. And there is a effect of weakening of the joint, that surface defect growth during the heating, and as well as residual stresses due to the change in the chemical composition. This heating and melting also changed the chemical composition also. That weakened the joint, the physics strength we can say, and that weakened the chemical composition also, that disturbed the chemical composition also. So surface damage is caused, then the strength of the joint is reduced, chemical composition is changed, that caused the stresses in the material, and due to that the joint is weakened, and to reduce the tensile strength is reduced. Tensile strength of the fiber get reduced. It is therefore necessary that the completed splice is packaged Once the fiber is spliced, suppose the fiber is spliced here, okay, at this position the fiber is spliced, then that fiber must be packaged somehow, so that it will provide the strength to the joint. It will hold the both side fibers together. So due to stress, tensile strength provided due to the fiber lay down will be overcome. So this reduced tensile strain due to the surface damage caused by handling, due to the surface defect growth during the heating, and the residential stress due to the changes in the chemical composition in this area of the fiber joint is there. Therefore, it is necessary to have the packaging so as to reduce the tensile loading upon the fiber in the vicinity of the splice. Okay. So this is the drawback, which fused the splices weakens and fractures may be generated here, and there is a surface damage when handling, there is a surface defect due to the heating, there is a chemical composition stresses are developed here near the stresses will cause the refractive index fluctuation. Okay, refractive index fluctuation, obviously that fluctuation will create the scattering, that is different issue, but the chemical composition changes are there, those small irregularities, inhomogeneities will also reduce the physical strength also, and to overcome that drawback, external packaging is provided. So accurately produced rigid alignment tube is used into which the prepared fiber ends are permanently bonded. There is a rigid alignment tube which is accurately produced, manufactured. Accuracy is there for the tube, alignment wise also. It is used in which the prepared fiber ends are permanently bonded. Then fiber ends are bonded externally. So packaging is done. This snug tube splice utilizes a glass or ceramic capillary with an internal diameter just large enough to accept the optical fibers, so that it can hold together these fibers. Then transparent adhesive like epoxy resin is injected through a transverse bore in the capillary, maybe with the help of some injection like material, like device, to give the mechanical sealing and index matching of the splice is achieved. So mechanically it can seal, and also the index matching of the splice can be achieved. Okay, index matching if required, the splicing can be achieved. Okay, so this about the mechanical we are saying. Okay, so fusion splicing is one type, other type is mechanical splicing. In mechanical splicing, accurately produced rigid alignment tube is used. It is not fused, but the fibers are held together, mechanical splicing, and that's why rigid alignment tube is used, into which the prepared fiber ends are permanently bonded. This snug tube splice utilizes a glass or ceramic capillary with an inner diameter just large enough to accept the optical fibers. Then transparent adhesive epoxy resin is injected through the transverse bore, because it is a mechanical splice. So there is one fiber and there is another fiber. They are having very small gap in between the end surfaces, and that gap is filled with the this index matching fluid material, and also the resin, and also that resin fills the gap in between the tube which is used for packaging. The tube is just enough to hold the fibers. So this fills the material, fills the tube also, holding tube, and that becomes very strong enough packaging, and also gives the index matching to the splice. Generally, snug tube splices exhibit a problem with capillary tolerance requirement. So there may be, due to this slug tube, there may be some lateral misalignment, and if the fibers are not very properly hold together, there may be longitudinal also misalignments. Then next is, one is snug tube type of the splice. This is snug tube of splice. Second is V-groove splice. So mechanical splices in our syllabus, two types of the splices are there. There are a lot of splices, mechanical splices. If you are interested, you can go through it. But just to understand what is mechanical splice in our syllabus, there are two types of the splices you have to study. One is a snug tube, second is a V-groove splice. So this is second V-groove splice. The two prepared fiber ends are pressed against each other, placing into V-groove. There is a V-groove. So in this V-groove, the fibers are placed, and alignment of prepared fiber ends is achieved by through the insertion in the groove, and splice is made. If the fiber is placed in the V-groove, automatically the alignment is achieved. The splice is made permanent by securing fiber in V-groove with the epoxy resin. The epoxy resin also gives the bonding in holding the fiber, and also it is useful in index matching. So what is the role of index matching? The index matching is allowing the continuity in the medium, because that resin also is having refractive index very similar to the core refractive index. And that's why the medium from one core of one fiber to the core of next fiber is continued due to the epoxy resin. There is no air gap in between. That is called index matching. So this is the figure of V-groove splice. So one figure shows the process of splicing, and second figure shows the packaging, how it is achieved. So there is a V-groove substrate. So this is the substrate, and there are fibers butted together. Two fibers are there. They are pressed against each other, okay, while achieving the mechanical splicing, and there is epoxy which is filled in between the gap. So these are the process steps, and once the epoxy is filled, flat glass plate is placed over it, and that is clamped with screw arrangement. Due to the flat glass plate over the assembly fibers and the V-groove plate, and it is having very firm screwing that provides the pressure to keep the fibers in alignment, lateral, longitudinal, angular alignment, and fibers will not be displaced. And then epoxy also gives the bonding after it gets hardened. So these are the butt joint fibers, and this is the glass groove substrate, V groove glass substrate, and this is the flat glass plate of the V groove joint. So this is shown in the figure. So this is the V groove splicing, mechanical splicing. So two types of the mechanical splicing. One is snug tube mechanical splicing and second is V groove splicing is in our syllabus. So what is there in the V groove splicing? The V groove splice is formed by sandwiching the butted fiber ends between the V groove glass substrate and a flat glass retainer plate. Okay. One is the V groove glass substrate, which is having the V groove in which the fibers are placed, and another is flat glass retainer plate, which is very firmly holding the fiber with the help of screw clamp arrangement. Then V groove splice is not easy to use regarding the field implementation with respect to manufactured fiber geometry, and it is not easy to use regarding housing of the splice in order to avoid additional losses due to the local fiber bending. Why it is not easy to use? Because there is the field implementation with respect to manufactured fiber geometry is difficult. Okay, is not easy on the field, and the housing of the splice to avoid the additional losses due to local fiber bending is not is also one of the problem. Bending loss is created. So in figure we are saying it is easy, but as imagine or consider the fiber dimensions. Fiber is in the micrometer, so this device is also very small, and to handle that, clamp that, screw that, it is becoming very difficult task. Okay. So V groove splice is not easy to use regarding the field implementation with respect to manufactured field geometry and housing of the splice in order to avoid additional losses due to local fiber bending. So obviously the bending will be there for the fiber. So this tube snug is simpler as compared to that. Just we have to put the fibers into tube and apply the resin, epoxy resin, and wait for hardening of the resin by pressing the cable, these fibers against each other. The tube, capillary tube, ceramic or glass tube itself will hold the fiber in lateral alignment and angular alignment way, and longitudinal alignment is against pressing the fibers against each other is achieved. So it is easier, but it is not so easy, V groove splicing. Okay, so we have to arrange these fibers, we have to put the epoxy, then we have to clamp the flat glass plate, etc., and it is of the order of micrometric scale, so it is slightly difficult, it is not so easy. So this is about the two types of the mechanical splices. One is the tube snug splicing is there, second is V groove splicing is there. So V groove splices have proved quite successful by giving very low joint insertion loss of the order of 0.1 dB. So once the V groove splice is achieved, it is done maybe in the factory or maybe on the field, this becomes very successful to use because it provides very small loss. Insertion loss is 0.1 dB for that joint. A variant on the V groove technique is elastic tube or elastomeric splice. Okay. Under the mechanical splices there is elastomeric splice. It is the variant of V groove. Okay. Elastomeric splice. The device comprises of two elastomeric internal parts and one of which contains V groove. Among the two parts, one part contains V groove and other is flat. Like just two plates are there, one V groove plate is there, one is flat plate in the V groove. So it is the V groove only, it is a variant of V groove and it is called elastomeric splice. So this is the figure for the elastomeric splice. One is a cross-sectional figure and second is a 3D assembly which is shown. So elastomeric splice, which is having the tube-like structure and there is a holding mechanism, okay, with one V groove and with other flat. Okay. And this is the cross section. These are the optical fibers. Okay, another optical fibers and there is a flat section and they are providing the, due to elasticity, they are providing the pressure on the fiber to hold the fiber to achieve the lateral alignment, the longitudinal alignment and angular alignment. All these alignments are achieved. So this is the fiber and these are elastic material which are providing the pressure on the fiber to hold the fiber. Obviously the index matching etc. is there to provide the additional bonding and matching of the refractive indices. So this is the extension or variant of the V groove, but it is having a simpler assembling technique. So elastomeric splice, the outer sleeve holds two elastic parts. There is a outer sleeve is there and internal there are two parts. So this is the outer sleeve and there are two internal parts. Okay, one is having V groove and other is having flat. So outer sleeve holds two elastic parts in compression to ensure alignment of the fibers in V groove. So fibers with different diameters tend to be centered. The fibers with different diameters, fibers are having different diameters, tend to be centered. Even the fibers are of different diameters, due to the elastic sleeve holding, they will be centered. Okay. Hence the successful splicing is achieved. Hence it is successfully spliced. So in same elastomeric splice, the splice loss for the elastic tube device was, how much loss it offers, was reported as 0.12 dB and less, in generally specified as around 0.25 dB for commercial product. So in laboratory 0.12 dB is achieved, but commercially 0.25 dB or less is achieved. Okay. Commercially means on the field when it is in the use. There are other parameters are there that who the person, skilled, semi-skilled person is using that may create some additional loss, and it commercially it shows the 0.25 dB or less. In addition, if index matching gel is used, it is normally employed within the device, it also improves the performance. Index matching material is used, index matching is done, that also improves the performance in this case. So till now we have seen the optical fiber mechanical splices. Two splicing techniques we have seen. One is thermal splicing, second is mechanical splicing. So two techniques of joining are there. One is splicing, second is connectors. So in splicing, fusion splicing and mechanical splicing. Now in connectors, optical fiber connectors. In joint, optical fiber joints, there are splicing and connectors. In splicing, fusion splicing and mechanical splicing. Fusion splicing we have seen, mechanical splicing we have seen, snug tube, V-groove, and variant of V-groove as elastomeric mechanical splicing. Then in fiber connectors, we will have demountable fiber connectors. Connectors are demountable and splices are permanent or semi-permanent. Splices are permanent or semi-permanent, whereas connectors are demountable, connected and disconnected. Okay, plugged and unplugged. So demountable fiber connectors are demountable, means you can mount it or demount it. Demountable connectors are more difficult to achieve than optical fiber splices. These are difficult because we have to achieve the performance, that loss should be minimum, joint loss, and in demountable case it is become difficult as compared to splice. Splice gives very less loss because it is permanent joint, whereas it is demountable, we have to connect it, disconnect it, connect it, disconnect it, in which the manual surface wearing is there, that fiber ends will be weared and degraded each time, and as it is demountable, it may not very firmly keep the fibers in alignment. Alignment may be changing in the due course of the time. So these are more difficult to achieve. To connect, it is not difficult, but to achieve the performance is difficult. Okay, it is more difficult to achieve. It is the meaning of that. So it must maintain similar tolerance requirement to the splice. As compared to splice, it has to maintain the similar tolerance performance in coupling light between two fibers efficiently. Why it is difficult? So one point is it has to maintain the performance the same as the splices. We have seen the splices just now, mechanical splice, fusion splice, but must accomplish a coupling in removable fashion, isn't it? So splices are permanent joints, but it has to keep the same tolerance, same performance, but in removable fashion. It can be mounted, it can be demounted, and that's why it is more difficult. A connector design must allow for repeated connection and disconnection, isn't it? Without the problem of fiber alignment. Okay. So fiber may get wear tear. So after mounting, demounting some repeated cycles, the fiber may change its dimensions, and that's why misalignment will be introduced. So connector design must allow for repeated connection, disconnection without problem of fiber alignment. So this care is to be taken. So fiber alignment should not be get introduced in the due process of demountable connection. So making the connection, okay, many times we are according to our requirement, while maintaining, while some other work, we are demounting and mounting it, coupling and decoupling it, and that should not introduce the problems of fiber alignment. Fiber alignment must be maintained well, and that is the care taken in this, and that makes it more difficult. So this also makes maintaining the fiber alignment while repeated connection and disconnection. Maintaining the fiber alignment in repeated connection and disconnection, that makes it more difficult. Okay, why it is made becoming more difficult? That is the reason. One more reason. Then Repeated connection and disconnection lead to degradation in the performance of the transmission line at the joint. The repeated connection disconnection leads to degradation in the performance of the transmission line, overall transmission line. Now this fiber, other fiber, this overall transmission line will degrade the performance of that overall transmission line. Okay, why? Because there is a surface wearing tearing, there is a changes in the dimensions of the fiber. Due to that wearing tearing, there may be leading to the misalignments, and that introduces the loss and that reduces the performance. And each time there may not be assurance that alignment are made well. At the same time, the connectors also having the parameters which are becoming worst. Okay, that connector may be getting weakened due to the repeated connecting disconnecting process. Okay, and that may not hold the fiber in alignment laterally, longitudinally, maybe angularly. Okay, so this repeated connection disconnection lead to degradation in the performance of the transmission line at the joint. And to operate this is more difficult, making it more difficult. To operate satisfactorily, the demountable connector must provide reproducible accurate alignment in the optical fibers. Reproducible alignment should be there. Reproducible alignment means each time that alignment should be produced in the fiber connectors. So same alignment should be produced in the fiber connector each time. Whenever there is a mounting of the connector is there, alignment is produced, again demounted. Again there is a mounting, the same alignment should be produced. Again there is a demounting. Again if there is a mounted, connectors are connected, again the same alignment should be produced. So to operate satisfactorily, the demountable connector must provide reproducible accurate alignment of the optical fibers. Okay, so this is the requirement. Okay, so demountable fiber connectors are more difficult to achieve than the splices because these are the reasons we have seen. Demountable fibers are more difficult to achieve than optical fibers. Because they are demountable, they have to have additional responsibilities. Because they are demountable condition, demountable property, they have to have additional capabilities, additional responsibilities. What are those? They must maintain similar tolerance requirement to splices in coupling the light between fiber efficiently. Okay, the tolerance requirement should be maintained. So there is a tolerance that whenever the splicing is there, there will be a few amount of the misalignment, few percentage of the misalignment, that is the tolerance, few percentage of the loss, that is the tolerance. All these tolerance requirements are maintained. Then second is it must accomplish the coupling in the removable fashion. Maintaining that tolerance, it has to accomplish that in the removable fashion, and we can remove it, disconnect it, connect it, disconnect it, connect it, and then also it should maintain this, and this becomes difficult. This is the difficulty. Then connector design must allow repeated connections. So design should be such that it should allow the repeated connection and disconnection. without the problem of fiber alignment. It should not produce the fiber alignment problems. Misalignment should not be increased or introduced. Okay, so continuously alignment disalignment is there, but that should not introduce the additional this one misalignment. Okay, then it should allow the connection disconnection without additional problems of fiber alignment. Then repeated connection disconnection lead to degradation of the performance. So connection disconnection, it should not introduce the alignment, but repeated connection disconnection leads to degradation in the performance. Obviously, practical case, it leads to degradation in the performance of the transmission line at a joint. Okay. To operate satisfactorily, the demountable connector must provide reproducible accurate alignment of the optical fiber. Okay, to operate satisfactorily, the demountable connector must provide reproducible accurate alignment at the fiber. Okay. So these are the various criteria, conditions, situations, circumstances which are making the demountable fiber connectors more difficult to achieve than the optical fiber splices compared to splices. So connector should be ideally to be low cost component. Connector can be fitted with relatively ease in the optical links because these are demountable. In order to maintain an optimum performance, the connector must be 1, 2, 3. To maintain the optimum performance, connector must be this 1, 2, 3. That is protecting the fiber ends from the damage which will occur in handling in the connection disconnection. It should have insensitive to environmental factor like moisture and dust, and coping with the tensile load in the fiber. So these criteria it should fulfill. So what are the expectations requirement from the connector? The connector should ideally be low cost component because the cost effectiveness is of any component, all the component in the optical fiber communication system or any system in general, any system, that cost of the overall system is affected by cost of each and every component. So cost effectiveness of the overall system can be achieved by cost effectiveness of every component in the system. Okay, suppose there is a road preparation system. Preparation of the road is the overall system. There the material, the labor, the mechanisms, the fuels, the raw material, every must be cost effective. That cost must be effective or minimum optimized. So the overall system functioning of the system becomes cost effective. Similarly, in optical fiber communication system, every component must be cost effective, source must be cost effective, detectors must be cost effective, fibers must be cost effective. Similarly, the connectors and joints making methods and the devices must be cost effective. So connector should be ideally cost effective component. So connector can be fitted with relative ease in the optical link because in the use of the connector, it is not used in the laboratory. So if it is repeatedly mounted and demounted, it is mounted and demounted on the field because fibers are in the field. So this is there, to use is there on the field. That's why there is repeated connection and disconnection, mounting and demounting. So it should be with a relative ease on the optical links. In order to maintain the optimum performance, the connector should be protecting the fiber ends. Connector should be protecting the fiber ends from damage which may occur due to the handling. Okay, due to the mounting and demounting, there is a damage of the optical fiber ends. Okay, due to the connection and disconnection, the protecting of the fiber ends must be there from the damage which occur due to the handling. So this is to maintain the optimum performance. If the fiber ends are get degraded, the performance, that is the loss or alignments, are get affected. Loss will increase, alignment will increase, misalignment will increase. And second, the connector should be insensitive to the environmental factors. Now, in case of fusion splice, the fiber is melted and becoming continuous. So external environmental factors like moisture, dust will not go into the junction of two fibers because it is continuous. In mechanical splicing, there is a assembly which is protecting, getting packaging is there, so that protects from mostly from moisture and dust. There is a resin bonding is there, resin bonding is there. That resin fills that mechanical splice. It matches the index, it provides the strength, and it fills also that splice, so that moisture, dust will not go into the fiber joint. But in this case, connectors are mountable, demountable. So the permanent joint is not achieved or done. It is not a permanent joint. So there is a chance to have the moisture and dust affecting on the joint. There is the moisture and dust affecting chance is there to the joint, but this is made, it should be insensitive to environmental factors, moisture and dust. So the provision should be made to make it insensitive, or provision should be made such that it should be not affecting, contaminating. Then next one is there, coping with tensile load in the cable. So one cable is there and another cable is there, and these cables are connected, hold together, and then this cable is of several kilometers. This cable is also of several kilometers. So there may be tensile load on both the cables, and that should be coped with by these connectors. So the connector should hold that two wires together. Otherwise, this communication channel will break, or a very large loss will be introduced. So these are about the fiber connector requirements. Okay. So details of the fiber connectors we will check tomorrow. I think there is a disconnection problem, not due to the connectivity. Some other is there. I will sort it out. Okay. So in going into the live condition, there may be some problems. So I am stopping here. We will meet tomorrow. Thank you.